EGS Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range Weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis MMT Chair.
MMTs go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.
Good to hear your voice, Charlie. PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
MS2.
This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity.
All right, Charlie, your Artemis II crew is go for launch. Full send.
I copy that. Reid, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, on this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis II. Let's go. I copy that. And NTD Launch Director.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed with countdown.
Copy that. I'll put it in work. CDR, NTD.
Go.
Figure risers and initiate short purge per your eproc 10.1.1.
Godspeed, Artemis II. The launch is a go. And with those words, we just heard the entire team behind this mission essentially give it a thumbs up. We heard some folks say, for humanity, it's a go. Full send. People are really excited about this launch in that room, and it gives us renewed confidence that they've done their homework. They've checked off every box. Anytime there was even the appearance of an issue, it's been resolved. And what is next is a countdown of 10 minutes and then launch, Katie.
Do people know what full send means?
I think people at home know what full send. She knows what it means.
You got to send it. You got to go.
What struck me was how both personal and professional this launch go poll was, and I've not heard that before. Have you?
I thought
Miles?
it was lovely,
and important.
Let me just inject one point here. This is the first female
that led me to want to become a rocket scientist, and I actually got to work on Artemis I on the Orange umbilical system. So I'm like giddy up with excitement. I want to give a shout out to my old coworkers, Johnny, Chani, and Reagan, who are right now probably dealing with stuff over there. And oh man, it's just hard not to be emotional right now.
That is Daniel there in Washington State, emotional. I think that's from the last couple of minutes. We knew the technical stuff, but now the emotions hit. So talk about that. But that's part of the job, isn't it? At this point, especially.
Oh, most definitely. And this is something that resonates with the history of space exploration and the Apollo program. And you see with those missions, people get emotional. This is a really moving moment for a lot of different reasons, and part of it, as at the last Daniel, I believe the last caller said, it's that teamwork culminating in this moment. And I believe with Artemis I, it was about 30,000 or so people working on that mission. I imagine it's similar with Artemis II. And if you can imagine working on something for many years, really challenging problems coming together and it culminating this moment is one of the really exciting aspects of this mission and part of why it's so moving.
What was it like for being inside NASA at this point? I mean, for those involved and those working on it.
Yeah, I think on the inside, again, for the team working the Artemis mission itself, they're hyper-focused and they are going to make sure that everything's ready to go in this final count. So I don't know they have a lot of chance to emotionalize it because they are so focused on making sure they do their role perfectly, right? So they know it's a team effort. And so I think for the rest of the NASA family, and again, like my friends at Goddard Space Flight Center and all around the agency, you feel a sense of pride. Whether you worked on Artemis or not, it's what the agency can accomplish, these great things. And so it's a general sense of pride among all the agency representatives, whether they're contractors, government employees, we're all part of that family.
The clock has resumed, just under 10 minutes now until the expected launch. Again, we will continue on just for a bit, let you watch as it gets down closer. But until then, let's try to get in some calls. Annie in Virginia, Portsmouth, go ahead.
Hi.
Hello, go ahead.
I'm Annie. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 5th grade. And in science class, we've been learning about space. And my teacher, Mrs. Porter, is really excited about this. And I hope the astronauts are safe and have fun in there.
Annie, are you interested in space yourself? Would you want to be an astronaut?
Probably not.
Annie, thank you for calling. We appreciate it. Words of encouragement for Annie.
Annie, I agree with you. I hope the astronauts have some fun on this mission. They're going to be spending a lot of time doing work and research and dealing with communications and all those different mission elements. But I imagine they'll get some fun in too. I really hope so.
And I agree with Annie. I would not want to be an astronaut. I love the idea of helping astronauts and working as part of a team. But as we talked about before, it takes special people with special personalities to be able to do what they do.
Just 8 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock showing now. Cindy in South Dakota, go ahead.
Hi, this is Cindy in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. First of all, C-SPAN, thank you so much for this. I've watched every minute. Every ounce of me is shaking with excitement. My question is, being in South Dakota, which is the central of the United States, and the people of the world, if the sky is clear at night, are we going to be able to see these astronauts at all?
Thank you for the question. That's a good question. I don't know what the answer is.
It's a great question. I don't believe so. You can see the International Space Station at night, and you can look it up online. I believe NASA has that information, so you can see when the space station will cross overhead wherever you are. I've definitely done that. It's pretty exciting. But the space station is about 250 miles up, and it's huge. It's the size of a sports stadium. So that's part of the reason that we're able to see it. But I'm not sure about this mission.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with what you said there. And Pedro was looking at the screen too.
Yeah, we're going to dip in gantry being...
So what they're doing is at 8 minutes before launch, the crew access arm retracts. So that was how they got them in. They're now moving that out of the way so that they'll be able to launch.
Let's listen in.
Crew off the top of the rocket in case of an emergency, whether it's on the ground or in flight. This is critical safety hardware that protects the lives of the astronauts. Starting at T-minus 6 minutes, the GLS will start bringing that and other high-energy systems online, starting with core stage pressurization. Weather is 90% go. The range is go. All systems are go.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
That means the replenish valve for the liquid hydrogen tank has now closed, and that tank is beginning to pressurize to flight levels because that hydrogen is naturally boiling inside the tank. We'll get the liquid oxygen tank a little later in the count. Now the team is waiting for verification that, if needed, the Artemis II crew could use the launch abort system to pull Orion safely off the top of the rocket in an emergency. Let's listen in for that call.
GLS verifies last capability available.
And CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
That's great news, and you heard the NTD verify that with the commander of the mission.
GLS is go for FTS arm.
Now work is being done to arm the flight termination system. This is so the range safety can send a flight termination command if the rocket flies too far off track. There's a brief built-in delay, so the launch abort system has time to pull the astronauts to safety
go for
first.
LH2 high flow bleed check.
All right, the high flow bleed check. That's so the cryo team gets verification that the RS-25 engines, all 4 of them, are in the proper temperature range for launch.
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
Core stage APUs start. Those are auxiliary power units, high-speed turbines which provide pressure to hydraulic pumps that steer the RS-25 engines. We're going to see a gimbal test a little later at T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is what allows that to happen. Coming up in about 20 seconds, we're listening for go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve. This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbaling of the engines. There are the 4 RS-25s, 3 of them Shuttle Heritage, 1 of them built from shuttle parts. And there you see them moving. Now we're going to start moving the power from both the upper stage and the lower stage of the rocket to internal, taking ground power away and now going to battery power.
GLS is go for upper stage to internal power.
All right, power is removed from the rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery. Same milestone for the lower core stage coming up at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Right now, the 4-person Artemis II crew is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power. There's no more hold time because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
One minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS go for ALS.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate MECO. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance before main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour. Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon.
Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon.
Have you the same.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour. Minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up, guidance converged.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Copy all, Stan.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
SM priming complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state, ahead of service module fairing separation. 3 minutes into the flight. Integrity, 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour. Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston Integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02.
We see the same on board, Stan.
And Houston has you loud and clear on TDRS at the Kármán line.
Outstanding, Stan, we have you the same.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis II, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Integrity, GPS processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Approaching 5 minutes into the flight, Commander Reid Wiseman confirms he has visuals of his destination. GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes internal checks and sends to navigation channels.
Integrity, 3 engine press.
3 engine press.
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry Integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, looking good at 6 minutes.
Same on board, Stan.
Good trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Freeling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity, 78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity, expect nominal shutdown.
Integrity copies nominal shutdown.
Six minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight. Seven minutes of mission elapsed time. Throttling down as we approach the abort once around option. Milestone at the 7-minute 30-second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, AOA open.
AOA open.
The window is now open for an abort once around option that would target splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal ascent at this time. About 10 seconds remaining until the main engine cutoff of the Space Launch System core stage. Standing by for confirmation of MECO and core stage separation.
Integrity and nominal MECO, core stage separated.
We see the same on board, Stan.
Eight minutes 40 seconds into the flight, we have a nominal main engine cutoff heading in the right trajectory on the way to swing around the moon. Core stage has separated, done its job. The Space Launch System upper stage, the Inner Rim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, or ICPS, still attached to the Orion spacecraft. Nine minutes of mission elapsed time. Integrity crew of Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen now in orbit around the Earth at the beginning of their journey to the moon.
Integrity Houston, looking ahead to PRM numbers so far per the pad.
Copy that, Stan. Numbers for the pad.
Capcom Stan Loves, we're now reminding the crew that the perigee raise maneuver time of ignition is as expected prior to booster ignition. That time being 49 minutes, 50 seconds of mission elapsed time.
There it is, the launch of Artemis II. Jeff Velosin, tell us what we're seeing now. What were your impressions?
We're seeing like perfect space flight, well practiced, well rehearsed, professionally done, and almost amazingly just right off almost on exact time. So I think that's what we always dream of when we launch into space. But with a gazillion parts that could go wrong at any given moment, it hardly ever happens. And whether that doesn't cooperate, so just amazing. And just, it's almost, we were talking about, it's almost hard to believe we're sitting here watching that really happening and that humans are really on their way to the moon.
It's just absolutely remarkable, amazing, really quite something to see. And I, nervous at every single stage, but it went off flawlessly, which is it's just so exciting to see. And I can imagine just how much pride everyone who's contributed to this mission is feeling right now.
And so at the stage that we're at now, what happens from here on out in the next several minutes?
Yeah, so we were talking about as they were launching, you heard about a number of things. They got rid of that launch escape tower. They can't use that anymore. They are safely on their way up into orbit. We heard about that they are communicating through the tracking and data relay satellite system. So instead of talking to the ground as they were at the beginning, you heard about Ponce de Leon up in St. Augustine, and that ground communication link isn't necessary now. They're talking to satellites in geostationary orbit that NASA has to communicate. Soon they'll move to the Deep Space Network when they get further out. But they're doing all the things to get themselves ready for space flight. They're not attached to the ground anymore, communication physically. But the other thing is, as they're getting ready to do all these things, they have to get their solar panels out. They've been running on batteries all this time. You heard right before launch that they disconnected the power cord from the ground. They started to run on their internal batteries. They're sized so that if they have a problem getting the solar panels out, they could last for a while. But here, I think in the next event coming up, I don't know how long it is, they'll be putting their solar panels out.
When it comes then to next steps, they automatically go to work once they achieve some type of stability, and they go right to it.
Yeah, and one of the things that everybody that's listening, if you want to become an orbital mechanics expert, you've heard words like perigee, apogee, and all they're going to do is when they go out to their height of their orbit, which is called the apogee being the furthest away from Earth that they're getting on this particular orbit, if they speed up by firing their engines forward to speed up, they will raise the other end of the orbit. So what they're going to do is, if you want to be an orbital mechanicist, you get to the top of your orbit, you fire your engine to go faster. What will actually happen is the other side of your orbit will get bigger. And so instead of coming back close to the Earth, they'll now come back further away. And they'll then burn their engines again when they're close to the Earth. That will raise the other side of the orbit. So I always think of perigee as perilous. You're near the Earth, perigee. Apogee, it's like, I'm further away. But they'll burn at either end of that orbit. And so you want to be an orbital mechanics person, all you need to know. And going faster makes your orbit get bigger. You don't go up. You just go faster, and that makes the orbit get bigger. And that's how they'll get out to the moon, too.
So for what we're seeing now on camera, the next step is, you talked about solar aspects.
Solar rays will come out, and then they'll move from battery power to solar ray power. While they're in sunlight, and they'll still have the batteries available, they'll be charging them so that when they're in the eclipse, when they're behind the Earth in darkness, they could use the batteries still.
Any impressions from what you've seen today, especially your history and the history of spaceflight when Apollo?
It was so flawless. I'm so curious to hear what people are thinking who were there watching it in person. I've been to some launches, some shuttle launches, and but with a rocket like SLS or with a Saturn V, so much force, so much thrust, so much so that if you're too close to it, the sound waves can kill you. But to witness that in person, I can't wait to hear the reactions of the people who are in Florida and who could really experience that launch firsthand.
We're showing you a video provided by NASA when it comes to the Artemis launch. Those in Florida just watching the launch of Artemis II, we've been following along. Those of you on the phone have been following along as well. Let's hear from some of you. Lorelei in Missouri. Hello, thanks for waiting. Go ahead.
My name is Lorelei, and I was wondering, how long does it take to become an astronaut?
I notice a trend now with our callers. I think the youngest they've ever seen.
A lot of astronauts in training.
But that's great. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine. The length of the astronaut training. How long does it take?
Well, it really ranges. So, and it depends on what type of astronaut you want to be. And so there's this whole rise in space tourism. So you can buy a ticket to go into space as a tourist astronaut, or to become a NASA astronaut, if that's what you're interested in. It can take a really long time. It is one of the hardest jobs to get. It is so competitive. So you have to work really hard. You have to do very well in school. Hopefully you'll get some training either as an engineer or a scientist, perhaps as a pilot, maybe all three. But it'll take a while. So these astronauts on this mission are all about 50 years old, 49, 50, 51. So it's taken them a while to get to this point in their lives. 3 of them had flown before, so they flew when they were a bit younger. But it does take a long time to become an astronaut. You need a whole lot of training to get the job, and then once you get the job, it's going to take even more training.
The notes tell me in Reid Wiseman's case, he was selected from a pool of 3,500 applicants to become an astronaut.
Yeah, it's unbelievably challenging to become an astronaut.
I applied back in the day just to get the rejection letter. Like, that's as close as I was ever going to come. But I think the best thing to do if you're young is look for space camps. So there are space camps all over the country, and you can get that first experience of like learning about what astronauts do and how to become an astronaut. So that's a lot of summer camps that have space camps nowadays.
Talk about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, a key to being an astronaut is persistence. And many astronauts have applied to be astronauts and were not accepted their first round. And this was also true back in the Apollo era. You get people like Jim Lovell, who was not accepted to the astronaut corps when he first tried. But part of his success in life was his persistence. And so